So hey guys, in this video I'm doing a review of the WMX-2 Duo wireless microphone system by MOVO. They sent it to me for review. They had a total of 6 different variants. The variant that I went with had 2 transmitters, 1 and 2. I'm using 1 at the moment. They have a built-in microphone as well as a receiver. The variant that I picked has a 3.5 millimeter output on the receiver. The other variants have either Android or iPhone output, so you can connect the receiver directly to your iPhone or Android. For me personally, the 3.5 is the most flexible and it fits my lifestyle more, so I appreciate that option. So for example, the way I'm using the receiver at the moment is I have it mounted like this on my Panasonic GH5. I then use the included 3.5 millimeter cable to go from the receiver into the mic in on my camera. So when I'm recording, which is how you hear me right now, it is recording in sync. So I don't have to do any sort of post-processing to synchronize the audio with the video. If you have something like an IRL camera, in this case, this Logitech MOVO Start, it has a mic input port as well, so I can connect the receiver to this, and now I can do live streaming that's in sync with high quality audio, and I can go wireless. I can walk around, place this down, not have to be tethered to the camera when I'm trying to record high quality audio. It can also work with a field recorder, so in this case the Zoom H1N. It has a mic in, so I can connect it to that as well. Just because I didn't get the variant that was designed for phones doesn't mean you can't use it with a phone. If you have a phone like a Pixel here that has a 3.5 millimeter input, you can connect it directly to your phone as well. It comes with a TRRS cable and a TRRS 3.5 millimeter cable, so you can connect it to a phone or a camera conversely, as long as you have that 3.5 millimeter in. And if you don't, you can buy an adapter. It doesn't come with a phone adapter for Lightning or USB to 3.5, but pretty cheap. You can connect that to your phone, and now you can connect the receiver to your phone. Not all DACs, not all these digital audio adapters are made equal. Some will have a harder time detecting external microphones than others. This particular one seems to work with Video Ninja in the browser, and the official iPhone adapter, I believe, also works with the browser, so you don't have to have any special application to capture audio. You can just plug it in and go, which to me is a very flexible system. You're not really tied to anything. Now these devices do come with USB-C, a little plug on the side. Those are for just charging. I've tried connecting these to a computer to see if there's a digital signal, and I could not get it to be detected as an audio device. So I was limited to 3.5 millimeter. It does come with some additional fun toys. It comes with this case. Now this is kind of like an AirPod case in the sense that it has a built-in battery. So you can take your device when you're not using it, plop it in, and it will start charging. So you can have your transmitters and receiver in here, and when you're not using it, it will charge. When you're ready to go, it's fully charged, good to go. You can see the battery level on the side, so it's good for about 2 charges. The transmitters and the receivers have a battery life of around 7 hours. I've never really been able to do one long test to confirm that, but it seems that is roughly what the amount of life I'm getting. It has an OLED display that can be on as it is now, or you can configure it to automatically turn off when you're using it. If you are using this as just a transmitter and not as a microphone as well, because it does have the built-in microphone, which is what you're hearing me on. It does come with 2 wired lapel mics. So it comes with 2 of these wired mics, 1 for each, and it connects to the mic line input port. You can clip this onto your belt, clip this onto your shirt, and then you're good to go. It does also come with a lot of accessories for these microphones. So if you are having problems with wind, it has a foam wind cap. It also comes with a fuzzy, like a wind muff as well that goes on this particular one. And for these receivers themselves, the built-in mic also has a little fuzzy that clips on. Right, so it's snugly on, so you can clip it on to your shirt while you're outside to help reduce the wind noise as well. I mentioned it has 2 different 3.5 millimeter adapters. So this is the TRRS adapter, and it says on the side smartphone. The other one is a TRS cable, and that's connected to the camera at the moment. The difference between TRS and TRRS is the number of poles. TRS has 1, 2, 3 poles, and TRRS has 1, 2, 3, 4. This is designed for smartphones where you have the headphone and microphone kind of on the same sort of device. And if you wanted to connect it, if you want to, for example, convert it, you can buy a converter. It doesn't come with this converter, but it will split from TRRS to TRS, and you can get converters that do the opposite. It just branches these off. If you're using a smartphone, you'll need to connect it over TRRS. That's what they expect. But if you're connecting it to something like a field recorder or camera, you connect it over TRS. It also comes with a nice little carry case because all those little components are easy to lose, and also comes with a little weight. And it took me a while to figure out what this is for. The instructions that it came with didn't mention what this weight was for. The instructions mainly covered how to use the menu system, how to turn on stereo, how to turn on mono, how to turn off the screen, things like that. But let's say you want to clip this onto your belt and you want to use it as a transmitter only. This little weight clips on to the 3.5 output, and then you can just drop it down your shirt. Right? So nice and easy. So I've now set up the microphone for both the built-in and the lav mic. So you can configure the receiver to pick the audio up as either a mixed mono signal or as a stereo left and right signal. So if you're doing an interview, you can have the different microphones on different channels, making it easier to do post-processing, audio leveling, things like that. Or you can just run it as a mono signal. So if you're going live and you don't really want to have to worry about left and right channels, or let's say you're using only one device, you don't want to have your live stream going out to the world only on the left audio channel, right? So being able to switch between mono and stereo is huge, and I'm grateful for that. And you can dynamically unplug these and just switch them over. And so I'll just switch to using the wired external mic instead of the built-in one, to give you an idea of how that sounds. So yeah, you just put it close to your lapel. I've previously bought MOVO lapel mics in the past. An interview said I've used them in some of my past videos, such as how to create LUTs, LUTs for OBS. So if you look back at that video, you'll see that I was using a MOVO lapel mic, and I like the sound of them. really good value in my opinion, and they sound nice to me. And both the built-in lapel mic and this external one, to me, sound quite nice. Okay guys, so I'm at the park and I'm going to be testing the range of the microphone out here. I'm just going to walk. I have an idea of how far I can go, so I'll stop at a couple intervals to test. There's a slight wind, and I did not put the wind muff, the little fuzzy, on the microphone, so we'll be testing how it holds up without that. So yeah, I'll just start walking. So if you hear it, you can a little. This is a pretty good distance away from the camera. I personally would not probably use a microphone, a wireless microphone, more than this distance. I don't know if I would have a reason to, but we'll keep going and we'll see how it. And when I face towards the camera, the signal will go back up to 5 out of 5 because it has a direct line of sight and it's not being blocked by my body. So I don't know if you were able to hear that, but at roughly this point, the signal starts to cut in and out. When it starts to cut out, it doesn't have like a staticky sound like an analog signal would. So it doesn't degrade gradually. Instead, you start losing audio completely. It just starts to cut out for a second at a time. Okay, so as we saw in that range test, if your body's in the way or trees or walls, it's going to reduce the range. If you had a direct line of sight, you got really long ranges, but something like a body can really dramatically reduce that range down. So you want to generally face towards the receiver when you're using these microphones. I didn't have a problem around the home studio, like the range was on issue here, but as we saw outside, it could be an issue. I didn't really have many problems. I've been using these devices for a few weeks now. I had an initial hiccup where the receiver I set as line out, because you can set it to be mic or line out, and I connected it to my camera via the line in on the camera. Both my MOVO and the GH5S support line in. But when I did that, I got a very weak signal, like negative 35 dB. And that's not really something I can use. When I increased that gain in post-processing, I had a lot of white noise because I'm also increasing the signal, the noise floor signal. So that was a little disappointing, but I reached out to MOVO support and they gave me a solution that worked great, and that was set the receiver to mic out and then lower the signal out to 1 out of 6. And that's how you're hearing me right now. I connected that to the line in on my GH5 and it's working great. I don't really have any more room to go down, so if I want to weaken the signal somewhere in between the line and the mic line, kind of positioning doesn't really work. I would have to lower the mic gain probably, but it's perfectly suited for my needs. And that goes for the MOVO as well. Once I connected it as the mic out into the line in, it worked great on the MOVO as well. Yeah, so no problems there. If I had a couple of feature requests, it'd be nice if the receiver, the USB out, or if it had a USB out, like it has a USB plug, but when I connect it to my computer, it doesn't seem to be detected as an audio device. It'd be really cool if I could plug it in and use it as like a wireless microphone on my PC, or maybe like on the go with my phone. But that didn't seem to work for me with this particular model. Another feature request would be, it'd be kind of nice to have like a limiter, like an audio limiter. So if I get too loud, it will automatically lower the gain a bit while I'm speaking. The reason is if I'm going like live, I want to set the volume as loud as I feel comfortable so that people on the live stream can hear me clearly and at a good level. And if I get kind of carried away or I misset the gain, I don't want it to be clipping or distorting throughout the video. So having some sort of software limiter that lowers the gain when it detects clipping would give me a lot more confidence to use this in like a live application. But I had no problems using it live regardless. It's just a nice to have I'm hoping for. Anyways, that's kind of the end of the review. There's a link to the product in the description provided to me by MOVO. I'm not paid to do this review, although they did provide these microphones to me for free for the review, so just keep that in mind. My personal thoughts, I like it. I'm really happy to have a wireless microphone system, and as you can tell, it works for me pretty great. I have no complaints. I would just like those couple things addressed perhaps in a future version, maybe like a more professional version that has the limiter and line level output. Yeah, for the price, I won't complain. This is a fantastic deal, it seems like. So yeah, that's my personal opinion, and I hope to hear yours in the comments. Bye-bye.